So, people are like, I want to start a store, and there's a lot of nuances to having a store, and there's so much energy that goes into just getting open. It's ridiculous. I mean, I swear it's almost like municipalities are at odds with businesses, because this is one of the reasons you see so much churn. You remember like it was yesterday. The physical location was in DeKalb County. I went to the DeKalb County website. I was like, how much for a business license? Called. It was like $120 or something like that. And I called and I went to the website again. And I was like, okay, so this is what I need. And this is where having mentors comes into play, because I don't know what it is with some municipalities. You go in and you think that you're going to pay X amount and you'll be in and out. Let me tell you the whole process. It was one of those questions like, when you started your store, what was the process like? And I will tell you, it was jacked. I'll tell you exactly why. So I go to the place, and I've got my $100 and some change, right? So I go to the window, filled out all the paperwork, had everything, and she asked me this one question: are you going to do any renovating? And I was like, no, the space is going to be used just as it is. Only thing we will probably do is paint. And she checked the box. And next thing I know, she's like, okay, well, go over to this window. And I was like, okay. So I go to this other window, and then I talked to another lady, and going to that window was like another $75. And then I had to go to the back and see this guy who was the civil engineer, and he was like, okay, so where's your print? And I'm like, huh? That was like, huh? Print? Yeah, he's like, I need a print to see what's what with your business so I can approve it. Does it have the appropriate fire exits? And if you're renting, like, if you're doing like a build out, all that stuff will be handled. But if you're renting a space as is, it can be real tricky. So I had to leave. I already spent $200 some dollars, and I'm hot because I'm like, okay, because back in the day, it was probably like that more so than not across the country, is you had to have your business license and certificate of occupancy. They were in DeKalb County, they're the same thing. They're married, they're joined at the hip. And you can't open without satisfying all of the requirements for both. So we're doing that and going through it, and I go to my landlord who doesn't have a print. So this is me. I go home, I measure the space, and I get some graph paper, and I chart it out. I spend like 2.5 hours on this. Then I take it to a scanner, put it on a laser printer, put up some nice realty company up in the margins, and I go back to the little guy, the civil engineer, and fortunately it was good enough because he didn't even blink. He just started marking it up in red. Where's your transaction counter is going to be, and this and this and this and this, and you're going to need this, and you're going to need this, and you're going to need this. So I had to go out. Fortunately, did not have to have wired electric exit signs, but went to the Home Depot, got the signs, put them there. Fire marshal came, and the building inspector came at the same time. After all of this, and typically the building inspector is not going to sign off until the fire marshal signs off. And if the fire marshal signs off, and they both came together, did their thing, they were there maybe 10 minutes, and he signed off, and then the building inspector signed off. Then I went back to that place, got in line, and finally got my business license 2 weeks later. You'll go to a strip mall. Every 6 months, new business may come, new business will go. Or if you're in a really nice neighborhood, they may stay a little longer. But you see this churn because people are starting these businesses, and they're like hearing, oh yeah, you only need $25,000 to start, right? And they sink that 25 grand in, and no one tells them, oh, you also need 6 months to another 12 months of money to pay your personal bills, because you may not make anything, or every penny may go in there. And it wasn't like that with the storage auction business, because we were already making money before we got into the space. But it's 2013, totally different tools on the table. And this is what I'm going to say to you. Do not open up a store. Don't do it immediately. Wait 6 months to a year while you build up your eBay channel, your Amazon channel, your Craigslist channel, your Facebook. You build all that stuff up. Now you do need space, but do not be in some crazy hurry to go open up a store, because there's so many things. Like if you open up in a certain plaza, you may have to have a channel sign. You may have to have it. And that's $2 to $15,000. Just that's the lights above that light up at night when no one's there to let you know there's a business there that's empty, because you can see in there because the lights are on, but there's no one in there. So many little things. I'll just be straight up with you. Unless I just get a wild hair up my ass, I probably won't ever open up another brick and mortar business. It's just, I've did it. I went through that thing. And another thing is the cost. When I had the furniture business, I was in mind-boggling debt every few months. Do a contract, have a lot of money in. 150,000, 200,000 in the bank. Next month, 300,000 in debt. I mean, this is how people go bust. Because the thing is, you meet someone and their business is making a lot of money, but it's also consuming a lot of money. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, because, it's like, hey, X amounts in the bank account. And I'm like, that's not my money. It belongs to this other guy and this other company. On the 15th and the 28th, I really became sick of living that lifestyle. That's one of the reasons that the storage auction business was so attractive to me, because for a marginal investment, and you got to understand my perspective, what I was coming from, where, just a simple job, you could be 25,000 in debt. Just a simple job. I'm not about maybe 5, 6, 7, 12 offices and a conference room, easily. And the thing is, you see, it's like, well, you just get bigger lines of credit, which just really open up your exposure, because I was just like amazed, because I think that's one of the reasons I just jumped straight in the storage auction and resale business, because you're generating profit, not money, but profit immediately if you know what you're doing. And it may not be enough to pay all your bills, but it's enough to get a toehold in the business. And I get this question, it's like, hey, what can I do to start a business and earn X amount of dollars by January 2014? Now, a few years ago, when someone asked me that question, they would be like, I don't really know. But oddly enough, you may have the answer in your house already. We live in an information age. People pay money for information. I am an information broker. I sell information. That's what I do now. You might have some skill or experience or something that you can put on a blog, do a YouTube channel about, create a podcast, or all of the above, and actually within a year be earning $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $100,000. It's real. It's very, very real. And this is what I'm talking about, revamping my business, revamping other stuff, because a lot of this stuff is old economy. Old economy, spend a shitload of money and hope it works out. New economy, spend little to no money and make a shitload of money. In my publishing company, which I really just started amping up the investment, I'll tell you, because this is what most people do wrong, in my opinion. Because you hear it, it's like, I want the best website. And they go out and spend all this money on a nice, fancy template. And they have all these wonderful, good-looking business cards and all this stuff. And they have that great image. It looks tight. It's awesome. And they're not making one freaking sale a month. But the money, it's going out. It's going out. And it's going out. Validate your business idea by actually putting it into practice. I can tell you, I keep saying it, I still don't have any business cards. And this is 3 years and 3-some months. I still don't have any business cards, and I make money every month. Business cards don't make you money. Transactions, personal relationships, and talking to people and dealing with people makes you money. So forget all that stuff about, I need to do this. You need to get started, and you really need to do the thing that scares the shit out of you, which is talk to other people. Talk to strangers and say stuff like this. Hi, this is my service. This is my product. I would like for you to purchase it if there's benefit in your life. You may not say it that direct, but you can go all the way around the mulberry bush. You can go to Pluto and Mars and come back. But essentially, point A is you have it. Point Z is that's what you want to end up getting ducats, loot, coin from their wallet to yours. That's the game. And there's so many different names to it. It's like, well, we just want to create a relationship, or we just want to share. And essentially, you're hoping people will like your product so much that they will just buy it. But this is the tricky, sneaky part of the internet. There's so much great content out there that if a person really is an audiac and they're willing to go page 80 on Google and spend countless hours learning stuff, that's a lot of stuff they can figure out on their own, because there's so much good information on the internet. But the thing is, it's not totally organized, and it's not put in the proper context. So that's where people like me and other folks come in, because you could probably figure out what I do. If you're really smart, you get out there and you hit it hard, year and a half, 2 years. Probably could. But at what cost? And as you're figuring it out, it's changing. This is the thing. The change that is happening right now is earth-shattering to me. The days of getting a college degree and that information will serve you in your career for a decade or two, it's been over. You have people in college who are gaining information in their freshman year that is no longer relevant, or maybe even obsolete by the time they're a junior or sooner. That's how fast this thing is moving, and it's ripe with opportunity. But if you are a person that's like, hey, I just want to get something and push play and then go play, you're going to be in trouble, because even if you start that business and get to 30, 40, 50, you're still going to have to do stuff to increase it, because what you did to start it and the customers, it's all going to change. It's all going to constantly change. And that's the opportunity, because everyone's not really up on it the way that they should be, in my opinion. But that's the quick answer. If you want to start something and realize a serious income, dig deep into you. Figure out what makes you tick. Figure out what pisses you off. Because if it pisses you off, it pisses someone else off. You want to know how I really got in the resale business? I was poor. I wanted nice shit, but I didn't have the money to get it. So I was like, how can I get the money? And then I heard about wholesale. I was like, wait a minute. If I start a business, then I can get the stuff that I want at 50 or 60% off. That was the reason I really jumped into a lot of wholesale stuff. I went out and created a company and just sold enough furniture and stuff to be legit so I can buy stuff for myself. It's the opportunity out there, because the thing is, you really have to look at what you really want to do. What's your prime objective? And people are like, oh, I want to make more money. Why do you want to make more money? I want to make more money so I can be home with my family. Why do you want to be at home with your family? Well, I want to be there when my kids take their first steps. Why do you want to do that? Because it's the thing to do. But does that truly make you happy? Because I'm going to tell you something. Everyone that says that, just being with my family, there are some people that if they were at home every day with the kids, and this isn't to say they don't love their kids, it would drive them crazy, because they want to be out in the world. So you really have to look at your motivations versus what sounds good. And a lot of people do stuff that sounds good, or say things that sound good, but they really are not their true motivation. Once you get down to your true motivation, everything else becomes easier. And sometimes your true motivation will not make you a lot of money. That's the reality. Sometimes it won't. And the thing is, do you have the courage to go after that? Because I'm on the fence. Well, no, that's a lie. I'm not on the fence. Follow your passion. I think it should be said, do things that drive up and instill passion in you. Because the thing is, like this medium, YouTube videos. I was a scared little bitch when I started making YouTube videos. It was the weirdest, most uncomfortable, unnatural thing I ever did in my life. I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. But I loved the results. And in turn, as I became better, got better equipment, learned a few things. It became fun and it became a passion, but it was not a passion when I started. Get get that thing out of your mind. That follow your passion thing, follow your determination. You know, Mark Cuban, he said that. I think he's 100% correct, because if you do something that you have no interest in, you have no passion in, but you become good, I guarantee you, you're going to become real passionate about it. And I'm going to give you a real example that many people are very aware of. When you first start having sex, chances are you weren't that good, but it was okay. Then later on, you got the shoulders in it. You know, remember Eddie Murphy and Delirious? You got the shoulders, your head. You started doing stuff. Then you became like the expert, because it became even better. And that's kind of how I look at it. Walking. You were just like, hey, I just want to get up, so I'm tired of sitting on my ass. It wasn't fun. And if you look at the process of going from crawling to walking, it takes time. But no one tells you, hey, you're not going to walk one day. Everyone's cheering. It's like, hey, you can't walk right now, little man, but it's coming, and I'm going to support you, and I'm going to hold you up, and all this other stuff. You have to do that stuff for you have to do that stuff for yourself in starting a business, because there's a period of time where you're crawling, but you want to walk, and it's just not happening because you don't have enough experience, you don't have enough customers. But if you keep pushing and keep encouraging yourself, you'll get there. So that's the deal with starting businesses. You know, how to start a business in 2013. Go deep inside and figure out what you have to offer to the world, versus saying, hey, storage auctions look like a great way to make money, when you really don't give two shits about storage auctions. It's not even on your interest radar. It's a trendy. It's like, hey, you know, I'll just try it because you never know. And those people will flame out really quick. Like, look at the big thing that's going on with picking. You know, people are like, hey, picking, I can make some money. There's this picking community. And there's a lot of people that are just like looking at the money. And they're not looking at, is it fun? Do they like it? Because I was on a conference call with a customer, and he asked me straight up, he's like, why didn't you do X and Y and Z with the storage auction business? And the thing is, I truly enjoyed rambling through people's shit. It was a high. 2 o'clock in the morning, reading other people's love letters and shit. That shit was fun for me. And to do that, I had to buy units. And to continue to do that, I had to buy more units and make more profit. So to get to that thing at the end, there was a lot of stuff I had to do at the front end. So you really have to really bone down to what you want to do, because if you're not truly interested in it, I don't care how much money it makes, you won't be in it long. Prime example, look at all the people that you know that went to law school to become attorneys, and some of them got those $150,000, $200,000 jobs right out of school, and most of them aren't doing it anymore because they didn't love the law. They didn't like the process. They didn't love all the research. They just was looking at that money, and when they got in it was just like, I don't want to do this shit. After all of that investment in education and tuition, because it was really not what they wanted to do. They just wanted to do it because it was a good thing to do. Don't be that person, because I'm telling you, it sucks. I lived that life 2000 and before. Hey, this is what you need to do. You need to do this and this. If I had this information that I'm giving to you right now, my life would have been totally different. Totally different. But no one knew. I mean, we lived in a world that you just get a job and you buy a house and you have 1.8 kids and get a dog and a white picket fence. And the reality is, you can have whatever you want if you're willing to pay the price.